Breaking news coming in the last couple of minutes or so regarding AEW Dynamite, because AEW President Tony Khan has confirmed that he is the new owner of Ring of Honor. All this and more in this big breaking news story. Yes, so this is a big breaking news story coming in the last couple of minutes or so. AEW Dynamite, at the time of recording, is still on the air. So this story, we'll get more into it as we get more details about it in the coming days, weeks, minutes, seconds, however long it takes. But the big breaking news, the big major announcement that Tony Khan was scheduled to make on Dynamite tonight has been revealed by the AEW president himself. He is the new owner of Ring of Honor Wrestling. Yes, ROH is now under the control of Tony Khan because he has purchased the company. Tony Khan has just opened Dynamite on TBS with this major announcement from Daily's Place in Jacksonville, Florida, and he has announced that he has indeed purchased Ring of Honor. A subsequent press release has also been released by the AEW president on his Twitter page, which reads as follows. We'll read it right now for you. It says, quote, Tony Khan announces agreement to acquire Ring of Honor, video library, brand assets, intellectual property from independent professional wrestling's most prestigious promotion, purchased under new partnership with Tony Khan. March 2nd, 2022. Moments ago on AEW Dynamite live on TBS, it was announced that Tony Khan has agreed to acquire the assets of Ring of Honor Wrestling Entertainment, LLC, from Sinclair Broadcast Group, including the promotion's extensive video library dating back to 2002, brand assets, intellectual property, production equipment, and more. Known widely as the independent promotion that birthed some of wrestling's biggest stars of today, including AEW's CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, and highlighted dozens of members of the AEW roster, Ring of Honor's purchase signifies a new chapter in the future of professional wrestling as AEW's meteoric rise continues to draw the youngest skew in wrestling audience on television. Ring of Honor's influence on the modern professional wrestling is etched permanently in the history books, and this acquisition ensures that its legacy will be kept alive and treated with the utmost respect, said Tony Khan, CEO of AEW, Chief Football Strategy Officer of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and GM/Sporting Director of Fulham FC. His quote continues, this deal adds thousands of hours of content to our rapidly growing library and creates new opportunities to expand our footprint on a national and global scale. While having the potential to produce new content under the ROH banner, I will immediately begin exploring opportunities to make ROH's video library available to the fans who will have the opportunity to witness the beginnings of the careers of some of AEW's biggest stars. The press release continues, more than 40 members of the AEW roster have appeared on AEW more than 40 members of the AEW roster have appeared in Ring of Honor during their careers. The promotion launched the careers of numerous AEW superstars, including CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Hangman Page, Dr. Britt Baker, and Adam Cole. Additional members of the AEW roster have made their mark in Ring of Honor, including the late Brody Lee, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Red Dragon, Best Friends, Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, Mercedes Martinez, Serena Deeb, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, Keith Lee, Eddie Kingston, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, QT Marshall, Danhausen, Lance Archer, Griff Garrison, Thunder Rosa, Wheeler Yuta, Luchasaurus, Orange Cassidy, Ethan Page, Austin Gunn, Pac, Kip Sabian, Jon Moxley, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, Jerry Lynn, BJ Whitmer, and Sonjay Dutt. This is also a quote from Joe Koff, the Chief Operating Officer of Ring of Honor Wrestling. Quote, Ring of Honor has produced some of the best professional wrestlers over the past 20 years, but more importantly, it created a family. I will forever be grateful to everyone in the Ring of Honor family who has worked tirelessly for the past 2 decades to take ROH to levels previously unimagined. Tony has the utmost appreciation and respect for Ring of Honor, and I'm truly excited to see how he continues the legacy. This acquisition will be completed through an entity that is wholly owned by Tony Khan. Further details about the extent of this acquisition will be announced in the coming weeks. So on Dynamite, as I mentioned, Tony Khan stated, and he begun the show in the ring with Tony Schiavone in the middle of the ring, and said that today he signed a deal to become the new owner of Ring of Honor. What this all means at the moment, we really don't know. Ultimately, we really don't know exactly everything that this does mean. Is it this ground shaking announcement. It's a big deal. I mean, I know people will say Ring of Honor hasn't meant much in recent years, and that's probably true. And what does the tape library mean if you don't have a streaming service? That's probably true. I think when it comes to WWE purchasing Ring of Honor's tape library, they're not in the business of purchasing tape libraries anymore because they've got the money from Peacock anyway. They don't really care about what's on the network because Peacock have already paid for it. When it comes to AEW, it makes a lot of sense from a variety of perspectives. If they're going to maybe eventually agree this deal with HBO Max and having a streaming service of their own or a part of that network where they're going to put their archive of footage, their tape library on there, it makes sense to have the Ring of Honor footage on there as well that Tony Khan can own. Nowadays, in terms of streaming platforms, etc., content is key. If you can have constant content, that's significant. Having the tape library of all of these stars that they mentioned that are on their roster, that they've got their starts or have a background in Ring of Honor, that's significant as well. I think also the territory of having Ring of Honor under the AEW umbrella, I think that's probably the most interesting aspect to me. We know that Ring of Honor is returning next month, April 1st, Supercard of Honor during WrestleMania weekend. What does that even look like right now? I have no idea. And I think that's something to debate later on. I think the interesting thing that I have is I look at an AEW roster right now that is massive. I look at this AEW roster and I say there are so many people under contract to AEW right now that are struggling to get on Dynamite on TBS. They're struggling to get on Rampage on TNT because the roster is just too big. They can go on Dark Elevation, they can go on Dark, they're on YouTube. And I know YouTube actually, ironically, might have an even bigger audience than some of the Rampage episodes on TNT because they're probably watched by more people. My point is, though, that, and this depends how they want to operate it. If AEW is just acquiring Ring of Honor and they're just going to gobble them up and they're just going to have the tape library and Ring of Honor is going to cease to exist, that'll be one thing. That's basically what WWE did with WCW. I don't know if Tony Khan's going to do that. I wouldn't be shocked if Ring of Honor continues to run as its own entity. I wouldn't be surprised if Ring of Honor continues to be putting on its own shows and continues to be doing its own thing, just being owned by Tony Khan. Considering all of the people that are currently under contract to AEW and the size of their roster, it would make so much sense for Tony Khan to cycle talent in and out of either company and go, you know what, Jay Lethal, I signed you to a contract, but I just can't seem to find something of use for you right now. I can't find something of use for you on AEW television at the moment. That's not to say you're a bad wrestler. It's just to say right now, creatively, we're going in a different direction. Go to Ring of Honor for 6 months. Go to Ring of Honor. You can do something there, and then you can come back. That's how you keep talent fresh, and that's how you keep talent happy. A talent like Brian Cage. We know that Tony Khan's extended the year on it or taken up the option year on his contract. Maybe it's just to say, you know what, go to Ring of Honor for a year. You know, and then maybe something will come up. If you get yourself over there, then maybe we can come back and we can do something else. Now, the conspiracy theory people will start saying, Cody Rhodes left AEW because he wanted to book. He wanted to have a more creative say on the product. Now, I'm not saying Tony Khan would have bought Ring of Honor to appease Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying that at all. But wouldn't it be crazy if said, you know, Tony Khan went, look, I've purchased Ring of Honor. It's going to be developmental territories, maybe a bit too strong of a term for it, but it's going to be a separate entity. Why don't you go there and book? Why don't you go there be the champion? Why don't you go there and get this promotion off the ground a little bit? Why don't you go there and we can maybe chat about something else? I wouldn't rule it out. Now, I think Cody is still going to WWE, and I don't think that's happening. But I do think that Tony Khan is probably going to use Ring of Honor as somewhat of a developmental territory or a separate entity. Could be massively wrong. It could just be a tape thing, and Ring of Honor ceases to exist as we know it. But it's a big deal. I know people will claim, oh, it's not the earth-shattering announcement that Tony Khan said it was going to be. It's a really big deal. Every time a pro wrestling company buys another pro wrestling company, that's a big deal. Especially when, you know, Ring of Honor, in its best day, was probably the third biggest pro wrestling company in the world. You know, most of the time fourth. But it's got an extensive history, and that tape library is worth something. And it's a fascinating time, and it's a momentous day in the world of pro wrestling because it's an historic one. So I'm fascinated to know your opinion. Let me know your opinion on this big breaking news story. As I mentioned, we'll talk about it more once we get more details here on the channel. But be sure to smash a like on the like button and be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. This is a big story. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.